One of the things that I've been talking about is the price of Bitcoin costing 21 or 22K to 30K to mint, right? From a mining perspective. And my thoughts behind this were obviously this supports the traditional halving cycle bottom, right? So your 21K Bitcoin, that sort of thing. I've been presented with this information now from Galaxy Digital and the actual cost of Bitcoin production calculator. So this puts it a lot lower than I had initially anticipated, especially when reading other outlets. Now, it's really hard to determine which one's accurate and which one's not and all that sort of stuff. But I want to present this information to you guys so that you're aware of it. And this is kind of, apparently this is the correction show. So we're correcting and Bitcoin's correcting and everything's correcting. But Bitcoin is not below electrical cost, especially for large scale miners where marginal costs are closer to 10K than 20K. It's coming from Galaxy Digital headquarters, and we have a nice little chart here. It says network hash rate 165 exahash a second, which is, I believe, not true. So already kind of like wondering what's going on there, because if we look at the network hash rate, it has dropped a lot, but not that far. We're down to 220 exahash a second. I think the presumption would be that we drop down to this. I'm not really exactly sure, but let's kind of look over it. Bitcoin price at 58,000. So I guess this is actually all older information. So here's the deal that I want to bring up. These calculations are based on electricity costs from last year, not electricity costs from this year. Okay. The other thing is it's based on the price of Bitcoin from last year, not from this year. And I think that even commercial rates have gone up. So when we're looking at this, it's very important to take into account that we're seeing increases on the electricity side that this from Galaxy Digital is a little outdated on. So once again, I say, like, I want to present this information to you guys, but I am also not sure exactly which one is the most up-to-date and most accurate. Now it says the block subsidy is at 6.25 and the fee reward is 0.19, which means your block reward is 6.44. I believe that's 6.44 Bitcoin. The global mining revenue at the time of doing this was 33 cents, which is in sats, 562 sats. And they are taking into account here the S19J Pro, which is pretty accurate. That's going to be a hash rate of 100 terahash a second at 2,950 watts. And so they say the machine price is 10,325, probably accurate at that time, which was an implied $103 per terahash. We were much lower than that as well. If we take a look at BT miners, which would be what retail would be paying for this, it's even much lower, right? We're at $5,800 for 110 terahash. So let me calculate that out for you guys here real quick. 5,800, divided by 110, we're at $52.72 per terahash. So that's cut in half. The price of a miner is basically cut in half from the time of this particular calculation. It says the calculated or the cost of electricity per kilowatt hour is 6 cents a kilowatt hour for these large investors, right? So the pool fee, 2% is what they set it at, and the uptime is 95% with a useful life of 3 years. That means that they are earning per S19J Pro $30.34, which is also not true anymore. Because if we look at that, we also know that according to ASIC miner profitability, if we go down to the S19X or S19J Pro, we're much lower. We're like 10% of that, $2.77 a day compared to the 30 they were saying here. Cost of, and that's not before electricity. Let's get before electricity. Let's click into it. We should be able to snag it. S19J Pro. Let's just correct it to theirs, the 6 cents a kilowatt hour. It's $10 a day in revenue and $5.93 a day in profit on an S19J Pro, compared to what they're talking about, $30 a day and $26 a day in profit. So the profit margin's a lot lower now. So their marginal cost of production of a Bitcoin, they're saying, is 8,122. That is calculated off of specifically a completely different set. profitability, right? So here's what my question is to y'all. Do we base this? Do we say, because this is old information, do we say, okay, this is accurate? Is it really 8,000 to produce a Bitcoin, or is it more? Costs have gone up as far as electricity goes, right? The price of the miners have dropped about 50% on Bitcoin, right? And profitability is dropped by basically like 90%. Is that correct? So from $26 after power to what is it now, right? We're at $5.93. So $6 compared to $26, right? So it's dropped by, what is that, 75%? Anyways, it's dropped a lot, right? So I'm not really sure that, because this was tweeted out on June 18th, it was made aware to me because they were like, well, you're saying it's 20K to produce it. This is saying it's not. But then I look at the numbers and I'm like, this is way off. This is like last year, right? So how much is it? We're at much higher hash rate, right? On the network, we're way over 165 exahash. We're at a much lower price of Bitcoin, right? And then we are at a lower price of the cost for the miner. The only thing that remains the same, right, that we would expect is the marginal cost of production. But I'm not really, I think we need to redo all of these numbers. And if you guys have fully up-to-date ones, I'd like to see them. But this seems a little outdated to me. I think you would base it basically off the price of power, and they're also saying it was 6 cents a kilowatt hour. So you'd want to price out basically how much it would cost to produce a Bitcoin based on pool fee and cost of electricity, right? So I think that's why they have them all in blue. And that profit margin's way worse too, right? And days to break even is way worse too. So if you have a $5,800 miner right now at $6 a day, what are we at? Our ROI is 900. It's 3x. 966 days to pay that off. I hope you enjoyed this clip from the Crypto Mining Morning Show every Monday through Friday, 7:45 a.m. Pacific and 10:45 a.m. Eastern Time. You can check out more clips here, or if you're interested in checking out the entire live show, you can check that out down here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next Tuesday.